If someone blows down the rear roll, or if they decide that, you know, something's different, no point in working with them anyway. So we just got to keep doing what we're doing, keep our eyes and ears open and our feet on the ground.
Now mine's actually gone. Here we are, it's Abs of October Red with the lovely Mark Tibs. Mark, the last time I spoke to you was probably at the York Hall when you was with Johnny Fisher, and I don't even think he was fighting. I think he just came to like watch the fights. It was a Wasserman show at the time.
Okay. Yeah.
It's been a very long time, so welcome back.
You always enjoy October's Reds interviews. They're different. You have a different. You project yourself different to the rest of them, which is a plus.
I really appreciate that. Speaking about sticking up for me, I've just spoke to Giorgio, and he was letting rip about you because we were talking about loyalty to trainers.
Yeah.
Because he's been with you from the beginning.
Yeah.
He's carried on.
Yeah.
No matter how the fight goes.
Yeah.
He stays with you, and I was asking him why.
Oh wow.
And
it's nice to hear. It's nice to hear.
Yeah. But you talk to me about him, his skill. He's going in with a very good opponent. I like that fight a lot.
Yeah, good fight. Listen, to be fair, Abs, he's got old school mentality. He's been there before. He needs something to whet his appetite, if you know what I mean. He had a couple of names chucked at him, and he jumped at the Maxi name. He jumped at it, and he wouldn't. We spoke to him, about the pros and cons of the financial situation and the projection of the two other fights he was offered, and he said no, but we have faith in him. I mean, man knows what he wants, believes in himself, and if you could have seen what I've seen since he's been a pro, you'd understand why. I'll talk about him. He's a very good, skillful, can read a fight brilliantly, and sees what they're going to do before they do it, if you know what I mean. But you can get wet at times, and he's in a fight and showing really good maturity of late. Since his last two fights with Joe Howarth and Levi Giles, matured a lot through them fights.
He was talking about one of them fights where he said he watched the fight, but I can't remember which one it was with. It might have been with Howarth. He was saying that he felt like he was playing with his food, and that there was opportunities that he could have took, and he didn't take them, and he was frustrated, and he had a bit of backlash from social media. You know what it's like. But he said he feels like he's got to go back to getting those knockouts like he was doing earlier on in his career. But what do you think of that?
Well, no, he's. Listen, it was against Levi Giles, I believe. He dropped Levi Giles, I think, in the 5th or 6th round. And to be fair, even if he made it a little messy and a little bit physical, he could have got the stoppage. But you have to understand what I'm trying to say and sit back and look at it. But instead he wanted to be too perfect and pretty, if you know what I'm saying. And then Levi Giles got the experience to stay in the fight. You know what I mean? So he knows what we mean now, and he knows that himself as well. But listen, he got the rounds in with a very good, capable, experienced guy. So he'd have learned from that. Yeah.
One of the
things.
He has
learned from that.
And he says, he was just like adamant that he's got to go back to the knockouts. That's what he wants. He's a young, hungry fighter.
He likes to. There's no fear in Giorgio. Yeah. I mean, he must feel the fear, but does it anyway, if you know what I'm saying. But he's very calculated, and I've been out to Vegas with him a couple of times, as you all know, and when they first put him in with guys, then they immediately step it up, and he feels it, but he does it anyway. But he's very calculated in doing it, if you know what I'm saying. So he's got them attributes what champions are made of.
Your patience as a trainer, I've known you for several years. You've had several fighters that I've watched, and I was speaking to you before saying sometimes I believe that being a boxing trainer is a thankless task. You're not in a contract with the fighters. There are no contracts for trainers. It's like they can literally just walk out the gym and say, see you later, thanks for the last 5 years, bye. How does that make you feel, and why do you still stay in the sport when you know that people can walk away from you just like that and blame you even for their performance as such?
Yeah. Well, how I look at it, see, I give my client everything, and to the best of my ability, and they normally believe in what we're doing. But if someone blows down the rear row, or if they decide that, you know, something's different, no point in working with them anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? So I would, you know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. But sometimes I've had agreements and contracts and all of that, but you work accordingly to with who you're training, so to speak. Yeah, they're all different temperaments and abilities and attitudes and whatever, depending on their abilities, and what I see they can do is how much time I invest in them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, because it's like you have to use your experience as a trainer to even protect. A fighter could come through your door and say, oh, I want to train with you, but you know a little bit about them and you think, this ain't going to work.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Dubois, for instance.
Oh, yeah,
I had Daniel Dubois. I had a contract with Daniel Dubois, and he's been and done. He's had some big stuff since. But at that particular time, I was involved with other fighters, and I had a moment in the gym with Daniel. Although I saw Daniel a lot when I was training Dillian White. We was in the Peacock for quite a lot. Me and Dillian in the back gym, and Daniel was around. I've seen Daniel since he turned pro, up probably, you know, first 5 years of his career. So I knew Daniel really, really well. Then I had the opportunity to train him, but and then you know, logistics and politics, a couple of things didn't work out, and you know, and I walked away from big fights with him. But it is what it is, you know. So can't get it right every time.
But that just shows that you're not necessarily in it. I mean, everyone's got to get paid. We need to.
I've got to be happy. I have to be happy with. I have to be happy to work with someone. Yeah, I've got to want to work with someone. Yeah.
What I want to ask you as well is about your experience with the heavyweights. Obviously, we know that you had Dillian White at some point, and I was saying this to Leo Atang. With the heavyweights that we've got now, obviously they have their peak, and then they go to another stage, and it's like, okay, you're fading off now. How difficult is it for a fighter to like look at themselves in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm probably coming to an end. I need to like make way for the young ones.
Well, it's not only heavyweights. It's for other weights. They're all the same. They're the last to admit. They're the last to admit. So you know.
Why is that in your experience? What it might be common sense to you, but.
Well, it's a lifestyle. It's a way of life, fighting, and it's a belonging, I guess. Yeah, and you never think. You get wiser with maturity. Yeah, you get probably more economical in your own, you know, carrying your body. But punch resistance probably ain't the same against young lions and freshness and all of them sort of things. So fighters are the last ones to know. They've got to have good people around them to encourage them and to give them the right advice. Yeah. You can have one fight too many. You see it too often. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about the last fight as well that, you know, Anthony Joshua had with Christian Prenga, a fight that we more or less said it'll be a breeze, he'll walk through it.
We all thought we did, to be fair. Never heard of him, to tell the truth.
Well, neither had I.
Yeah, no. So I was very, very surprised in that first round. Sorry.
The first round, that's what I was going to talk to you about. It. When you look at a fighter, when you see Anthony Joshua, you see him go into the ring, you know what he's like. He was in the corner for no, he wasn't. He was in the corner after the Dillian White fight, but you know who he is as a fighter. What did you see when he got in the ring?
When he first got in the ring?
Yeah.
First and foremost, let me go back to Dillian White. I wasn't involved with Dillian when he boxed AJ.
It was afterwards, wasn't it?
Directly after, yeah.
Yes, yeah. I'll stand corrected.
I had 11 fights with Dillian, 11 or 12 fights, unbeaten.
The best fights.
World number one. O2 Arena, banged it out every time.
The best fights were with you and Dillian.
We had a good run together. Sorry, what was your question?
Yeah, what did you think about when Anthony Joshua got in the ring and we saw that like immediately? Well, 20 seconds in, was it?
Yeah, 20 seconds in, and I wasn't really surprised. I wasn't surprised because Daniel Dubois had him over several times, didn't he? When he caught him. So yeah, but I didn't know who Pringle was, to tell the truth, and I'm glad he turned it around in the second round, didn't he? Yeah, turned it around. So yeah, it's just coming of age, grandfather time maybe.
Do you think it is more like punch resistance then?
Well, yes, wear and tear, punch resistance, and time for the young guns to come through, isn't it? Time for the young guns to come through, but there is a big fight. There's always going to be a big fight, and the world wants to see it with the Fury. Yeah.
The heavyweights that are coming through, who are you looking at and thinking, okay, these are the ones that are going to take the torch off the older heads? Who do you see coming through that you like?
I like this Leo Tang. He's very natural. I've seen him spar. He's sparred in my own gym. I've been to a few other gyms, and I've took heavyweights which I've been looking at to, and we didn't go spar with Leo, but we had to. so I know what Leo's all about. He looks like a young, fresh, bit more natural ability about him than AJ, I think. Natural ability, but and look what AJ's done. AJ's done it all, isn't he? He's done it all. Fantastic, but he's very exciting. I like Leo Tang. I think he's going to go places. Yeah.
And what about young? There's Onianian.
Yeah, I don't know too much about him.
The Irish young heavyweight.
Yeah.
Apologies if I pronounced his name wrong.
I've seen him. I've only met him a couple of times, but don't know too much about him. I've heard a lot about him. Yeah, there's a lot of.
And Moses.
Was that
Moses Itauma?
Oh, Moses! Wow, Moses is Moses. Moses reminds me. I've said it before, I'll say it again, of the readability and the counter punching aspect, and places his shots very, very well. And I've had Moses in my gym years back, just as he was turning pro. But I'll tell you, I'll never forget it. You make you laugh as it happens. Francis Warren phoned me up and he said, Mark, can I bring Moses over? I said, yeah, how many rounds do you want? so I had Fisher, Edges, and I had Tommy Fletcher at the time, yeah. And I said, no problem, Francis. I know Francis for years, as I've worked with Frank as well. So I said, Francis, how many rounds do you want? So he said, only 6. So I rang all the boys up. We weren't in training. But I said, boys, I want you all in tomorrow, 11 o'clock a.m. And you're all sparring, bring your sparring gear. And see you later, Sonny, all the best. Good man. I said, you're all sparring and you're all doing 2 rounds each. I go have a look at someone. And then when Moses turned up, they went... No, but they all done 2 rounds with Moses, and Moses, we all know about Moses, and now all the boys knew about Moses. That was years ago before he turned pro. But no, he's one of our heavyweights. At the moment, he stands out, 100% stands out. He seems to be really wise and different. Yeah, wise and different for the good, if you know what I mean. Calm. Places his shots very, very well, and as I say, a fantastic counter puncher like Giorgio Visioli. Yeah, really good. Moses Itauma, good name and all.
Finally, Giorgio Visioli, what are we doing with his career? Where is he going to go? What do you want for that fighter? Because the way he backed you was really commendable. So what do you want for him?
Well, listen. One fight at a time. Giorgio's maturing very, very well. The way he's going, he will fight for a world title. Yeah, and I believe in him, like he believes in himself. I've been in gyms in Vegas with him, with young prospects like Giorgio, and with seasoned professionals as well. They've been around the block or two. I nearly called them dinosaurs, but you know what I mean. And he's dealt with them. Listen, I can't say he's dealt with them, and he knows how to play the game with the veterans, if you know what I'm saying. And and he knows what he can do, and I know what he can do. But you know, he's not the finished article, and so we just got to keep doing what we're doing, keep our eyes and ears open, and our feet on the ground.
Eyes and ears open and feet on the ground, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mr. Mark Tibbs.
Thank you, Abs.